In Nepal, there was a horrific earthquake which set off an avalanche on Mount Everest. So first, let's take a look at a video here from Mount Everest during the avalanche, and then I'll come back and tell you the true scope of the devastation as a result of this earthquake.
The ground is shaking.
What about if the ground opens up?
Oh! Oh! No! Come under my jacket. Come under my jacket. Are you okay?
Yeah.
You alright?
Yeah. Every time I watch that video, I get a rush of panic. Because he realized there's an earthquake. He says the ground is shaking. He looks up. Immediately, there's this avalanche coming towards him. Could you imagine the fear you feel right when you see that there's a wall of snow coming towards you? Now, understand, these guys are actually, I think, fairly lucky because there are other areas on Mount Everest. I guess people were higher up the mountain or more close to where an avalanche directly hit, where people died on Mount Everest climbing because of the avalanches that happened as a result of the earthquake. I'm not sure what ended up happening with this guy and everybody else involved in what you saw here in the video. I think he's all right because at the end he basically says, I'm all right. And obviously we got the video, so somehow they got the video to us. So I guess that some of these people are okay, but I know in other areas people died on Mount Everest as a result of the earthquake and the subsequent avalanches. So it was a 7.8 magnitude earthquake, which is insanely powerful. The aftershocks in and of themselves are enough where people, you know, are like, oh my God, is it happening again? Because the aftershocks have continued even till right now, and this happened 2 days ago. So the New York Times reports, quote, residents of remote mountain villages at the epicenter of Nepal's powerful earthquake said on Monday that they were running out of food and that 2 days after the quake, they had seen no sign of outside assistance. So understand that this hit, I believe, 50 miles away from Kathmandu, which is a major city and I think the capital of Nepal. And what they say is to get to these regions where like the heart of the earthquake was is nearly impossible because it's a very mountainous region and all these roads that you can take to get to these places that are far away, there's like landslides that have, you know, basically cut off the road in many different areas. So people who are basically in the hardest hit regions of the earthquake, some of them have received no help to this point at all. People are trying, but they can't get there because everything is blocked off. I mean, this really is a nightmare scenario. They say, quote, we have no shelter, no food, and all the bodies are scattered around, said a woman from a village at the quake center. Villagers described a landscape of destruction. There had been 1,300 houses in one of the villages named Sarpani, but all the houses collapsed. All right, so you ready for the death toll involved here? Now, this is as of maybe 2 hours ago or 3 hours ago at most, but it's been rising all day as I've been reading and prepping for the show. It rose, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's rose significantly from this number even as of right now. But last time I saw it 2 or 3 hours ago, the death toll was 4,000 and rising. It's incredible. They even lost a lot of their, like, cultural monuments and buildings and stuff that were really old, and they have before and after pictures up, I think, on the New York Times website where they show you this is what it was like before, this was like after, and just beautiful buildings are now piles of rubble. And this was a disaster, man. This was an absolute disaster. So my heart goes out to everybody in Nepal and what's going on there. And I hope that for once we have a relief effort and a rescue effort and a rebuilding effort that is not insanely and wildly corrupt. I really want the people of Nepal to get the help that they need, and I don't want, in the layers of bureaucracy, all that money to get lost and go into the bank accounts of for-profit government contractors. And by the way, we're going to get to another story later about just how disastrous the response was to the earthquake in Chile, or I'm sorry, in Haiti. So we'll describe that, and I can only hope that the response here in Nepal is not going to be the same as it was over there.